Okay, well, he has this bag. How long does he have this bag? You know, how much footage do you think you seen him get, or maybe think that he got during your guys' time working together?
I have no idea. You know, that bag was with him every day, just like the regular bag with all his medication and stuff like that. So when he did freak offs, how he did freak offs, or what time, or we would
Some
never.
people are saying that refresh worked. So if you're hearing audio issues, I think it's a YouTube only thing where I don't know, maybe they're encoder or maybe it was something on my side. So just refresh. Don't know if it's happening on King Academics page. I know it's happening on the Academy. So just refresh. Otherwise, we should be good. By the way, shout out to everybody on Kick, also on Rumble.
Never know that.
Chat, we're 27,000 strong up in here, man. 27,000 strong from all platforms.
So I can't say how much footage he had in that bag.
But that bag was around every day for 10 years.
Now that bag was that. Well, I can't say it was every day for saying because I can't tell what exactly that bag was there every day. I know that that was a bag that when Tommy had it, he had that bag. If he ain't had that bag, then it was in a safe or it was with Mr. Combs.
Do you think Diddy would have been smart enough to get rid of this stuff before the feds raided his house?
He didn't know the feds was gonna raid his house, evidently. Or he didn't like sometimes it's like you think you're invincible. You have that God syndrome. You think nothing's gonna happen. So or if they raid it, they're gonna raid it a certain type of way, and they're not gonna come and knock down everything and find tunnels and do this, that, and the other without somebody that he thought would be able to call him to give him a heads up. Evidently, they kept this one so hush hush because they knew that it was somebody that would give them a heads up. These guys didn't even know where they were going.
Oh, okay. Were there any guys that you actually, became friends with besides Diddy? Any celebs?
Nah, I never really was on that. To me, it's like, I'm cool with everybody.
Okay. We should have some more tweets here. So now we're gonna see about the voyeurism, right? And apparently, if we're hearing it from, well, we're gonna hear from the horse's mouth. So the voyeurism started like pretty much a year after they started fucking around. They ask her, "How old are you?" They start fucking around like 21. She said she was 22. AUSA says, "Why did you agree to try a freak off?" She said, "Good question. I just wanted to make him happy." They then said, "Where and when was the first freak off?" She says, "One of his homes in LA." And they put up an exhibit 2A 627. It says, "Who is this?" It says, "That's the first escort." They say, "Do you know his name?" She says, "No." AUSA says, "I'll call him first escort. Were you aware if he was paid or not?" Ventura says, "Yes, he was paid to dance and to have intercourse with me." AUSA says, "What drugs did you take?" She says, "Well, ecstasy and alcohol before things started." The AUSA then says, "Did you disguise your appearance?" She said, "Sean said we should disguise ourselves, so I wore masquerade mask." AUSA then says, "What was a session in a freak off?" She said, "Until the escort finished." So the escort had to come. Then they say, "How many sessions with the first escort?" She says, I could remember at least 2. So we're getting into it, chat. We're getting into it. All right. So if you notice the way that the AUSA is doing with Cassie, they're doing it really slow and deliberate. They started off, first of all, by talking about how she met Diddy, some of the control methods that he was supposedly using, talk about her career. They were talking about a lot of things building up to now this. By the way, if you ask me, this is 2:00 right now. Court's gonna dismiss around 5. I don't know if the AUSA is gonna finish their direct. So I don't think the defense is coming until tomorrow, right? I think they're gonna slowly, methodically, break down all of these encounters that she could remember, all of these details, and really evoke a passionate, probably tearful Cassie that's gonna recount how much Diddy supposedly forced her to do these freak offs and some of the probably gruesome details that I guarantee we're going to be reporting. They're going to ask about the urine, all of that, all right? So it's happening. Okay. Next up.
Which they good buddies, okay? They're gay. Two, both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay, okay? DJ Khaled.
Okay. He says, how did you feel? So they're asking her how she felt after the freak off. She said, I was high, so I didn't feel much. I did feel dirty and confused, but he was happy with me. The AUSA says, why did you feel you couldn't say no? I didn't want to make him angry or upset after he had shared this part of himself with me. So it looks like Diddy must have said to her, like, after a year to say, hey, listen, I love you. I got this little kink, all right? I don't want you to feel like I don't love you because of this kink, but my kink is I like other people fucking my chick. And it looks like Cassie felt like he was being open and honest. And after Diddy came out like that, which, by the way, you know, as much as we've talked about this whole thing about Diddy being gay, we ain't hearing nothing about Diddy's kink supposedly being him wanting to get fucked in the ass. If anything, we've hearing that he got mad that the nigga, one of the porn stars or escorts, looked at him while he's fucking Cassie. So it looks like he comes out to her, comes clean to say, yo, A, B, C, and D. And Cassie feels obligated to not make him feel weird about what he came out about, right? She's trying to normalize it, and she's also trying to acquiesce. That's how she's putting it now, okay? How frequent did the freak-offs become? She said weekly for a consistent amount of years. She said, when was your last one? She said, 2017 or 2018. AUSA says, how long were you awake during the freak-offs? She said, I never slept. I took drugs, ecstasy, Molly, cocaine. Yeah, this is it's getting there, people. Has she done an interview since 2018? Have we seen her do an interview since 2018, chat? That would be very interesting to know. Have we seen Cassie do an interview since 2018? All right. Let's keep it going. By the way, we're just waiting for other tweets to come up. And I wonder, when she said she never slept during the entire time, and I'm pretty sure the defense attorneys are going to ask this, she said she never slept during the freak-offs at all. And she was staying up on ecstasy and coke. She had also admits that the longest freak-off was 4 days. Did she stay up for all 4 days? Now, granted, I don't know if she's just saying that, hey, for the most part, I never slept. But the defense is definitely going to come back around with, so you didn't sleep for 4 days. And if she admits that, oh, yeah, I did sleep a little bit, that might at least blow up that argument of her saying she never slept, just to kind of like ruin her credibility a little bit. But right now she's saying she never slept. She also admits she was high. She did admit to feeling dirty and confused. She says, I couldn't tell him no because I feel like I'd be making him upset after he shared this part of himself with me. How frequent were the freak-offs? Weekly? For a consistent amount of years. Wow. Now, to all my chat queens and chat niggas in the building. Like, I think everybody, when you're with a girl, right? And I think this is normal. Like, say you with your girl for a long time. Maybe now and then y'all might do like a threesome or something like that. Or you do something like maybe y'all go on vacation. You do something that maybe a little bit non-ordinary out of the sexual encounters you have with that person at that point. That's the thing. I thought these freak-offs weren't like that regular. I thought it was just like, yo, Diddy would get a big win in music and he wants to celebrate and he does a freak-off. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these, I know a couple of celebrities when it comes time to, I know two celebrities in particular. They have annual orgies on New Year's Eve. Facts. And I be looking on their shit to be like, And I be looking on their story to see who they invited to their orgy. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Holy. I know. Facts. You feel what I'm saying? And by the way, chat, it is my job to collect all everybody's secrets. So I know it. Every New Year's Eve, they go on vacation and this orgy. New Year's Eve. But they don't do these orgies every week. They don't do it every month. Well, from what I know, maybe they do. I don't know. But I just know about those ones. So I guess with the Cassie thing, I'm like, that kind of helps her case and the AUSA case. Because at this point, if y'all are doing these, and I'm going to just call it non-standard or non-traditional sex acts or these freak-offs that kind of seem like events, pretty much it's almost like he turned Cassie into a sex worker. He's telling her to train for the freak-offs. Yeah, you'll go train for the freak-off this weekend. Yo, look at y'all motherfuckers, man. Y'all just saying all type of shit in the chat, man. Oh, boy. Yeah. So they were saying train for the freak-offs. Jesus Christ. And it was every week. Consistently for amount of years. Wow. So do you recall all the freak-offs? She said that would be impossible. Oh my God, how many was there? She said, did you want it to stop? I said, yes, I was humiliated. I didn't have those words then. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Oh, she's crying. Diddy, reserve the top bunk, nigga. Which is a good bunk, top or bottom? Pause. Oh, the crying starts. It is. Her belly's hanging over on the thing. She got a kid in the gut. You know, the baby in there like, mommy, I want to help you. No, I'm not trying to play around. Chill out. Motherfucker, she's crying on the stand. Diddy's looking gray as hell. You got to imagine, too. Cassie's looking probably beautiful. She's glowing, pregnancy glow. Diddy looks like a grayed up old pervert. Let's be honest. He don't got none of that just for men shit to keep his beard black. He's as gray as Santa Claus. The wrinkles start coming out, all type of shit. I imagine the jurors are hearing this. She's crying. They're looking at her. She looks beautiful. She's pregnant. And they look over to this nigga, and this nigga look old as father time. Gray, wrinkled up, looking nasty. And they're like, nah, this ain't right. Nah, this ain't right. Oh, yeah. Diddy? Oh, man. So now she says because that's going to be a thing. Did you ever say you want to stop doing the freak off? She says, I brought it up gently. I didn't want him to just do it with someone else. Ooh, interesting. So that's an angle I think some women could be able to, maybe identify with, right? She's saying, I didn't want to stop doing this thing that he liked because he would just go get another woman to do it. And we keep hearing this idea that, even Diddy's own attorneys were kind of use this angle to say these people were doing things to try to keep Diddy. It's not like Diddy was telling them to stay. They wanted to do whatever to stay with Diddy, not the other way around, because the benefits that they got from Diddy. But so she's kind of admitting it, but still admitting it in a sex trafficking way, where it's like, yeah, I kind of did it, but I just didn't want to get replaced. Like, I brought it up gently, but I didn't want to go too crazy on it because I just wasn't trying to get it replaced. He says, were you able to express your concerns to him? They say, objection, lead in. Judge says, rephrase. Says, why would you talk to him gently? She says, I didn't want him to be angry. Yo, who in the chat said that? We don't need cable? He said, man, I need a Cassie, no bluffing. Well, what's wrong with you, man? Now, that's going to be very important. Keep in mind, I didn't want him to do it with someone else. Could be viewed many different ways. And this is what I keep telling you. This is all about, even when you got the Brian Steele, the Tenny Garagos, you have Xavier Donaldson, you have, of course, Mark Agnifilo. Obviously, you have AUSA Maureen Comey. You have AUSA Emily Johnson. It's all about how could you get those 12 jurors and the 6 alternates to see it your way? Because when I hear this, if we hear this on face value, we don't know nothing about Cassie. We don't see the video of her getting beaten and dragged. We know nothing. If you just reading 2 people text messages and she's like, I'm only doing this, or you see someone explain saying, I'm only doing this because I want him to do it with another bitch. It sounds like, oh, okay, so you ain't want to get left. You want to do this shit. And by the way, I know relationships where women or even men do things because they don't want, like I've heard a girl say, I gave my man a threesome because I didn't want him to go fuck the bitch without me. Now, you ever had or heard a homegirl say that, or your homie tell you that's why his girl's agreeing to some shit? I don't know if that's sex trafficking. That seemed like you trying to keep your man. I don't know if that's sex trafficking. Now, granted, the thing with this Cassie case, or not Cassie, is the Diddy case. Everything has to be in total, like you have to look at it in an overall perspective. Because if you look at one thing, you might be like, man, you were just trying to like keep the gravy train. You look at everything else, you're like, maybe. And we're going to see who is going to be able to testify to how the victim, there has to be some type of expert that comes in and testifies to how a victim of sex trafficking or some of those type of abuse, how they think and how they process things and what they do. Because to make this point, I would say, it sounds like you're doing this willingly, but in the cycle of abuse and victim mindset, she might not be, right? Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. Hey, memes, get me this that I can post on the gram, okay? Thank you. That's a really interesting point about this testimony. Why you ain't stop? Why you ain't tell me you want to stop? I ain't want him to go do it with another girl. Can we do a poll on that? I think this is a good place to really ask some questions. Now, we have to juxtapose both sides to this, right? Because she also says in the next sentence that, well, I didn't want him to be angry. So it kind of also gives this hint of she's fearful. But initially she says, I just didn't want him to do it with anyone else. Can I see a poll? Somebody start one on the Academy channel. Let me go to King Akademiks. We need a poll. We got to figure out this. What do you guys think about that? I want to post this on the gram too. I got to get, like, the gram be having the best. The gram be having the motherfucking best comments, especially my Instagram. Give me 1 second. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm just posting to the gram. Ooh, there's some more tweets too. Cassie admits she didn't want to bring up stop doing the freak off to Diddy out of fear he might do it with other women instead. Okay. All right. That was a good post. See how quickly I post? I bet. Okay. Memes. Keep sending it to me. All right. Let's go to these other tweets, my people. All right. I'm on King Akademiks page. Let's look at all of the. I want to see some polls, man. Pause on that, but no Diddy on that. Seen some polls? Oh, shit. Pause. Shit. Anyway, okay. The AUSA says, what is this? She says, this is the email between me and Sean. The AUSA says, what did you call him? She said, I called him Pop Pop. Why did you call him Pop Pop? He asked me what I called my grandfather. I did it, but now I think it was disrespectful. Wait, was she calling Diddy Pop Pop? And they're saying, why you call him Pop Pop? And he wanted whatever endearing term she had for her grandfather. That's weird now. If you ask a girl to call you the same thing they call her grandfather, that's crazy. That is a little bit crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That's some other shit. Diddy, you were tweaking, bro. Is Diddy I can't wait till everybody comes out of court to tell us. Is Diddy's kids in the I would love to see what's Diddy's daughter's reaction to this. They're watching a pregnant woman crying on the stand, talking about what their father did. And even some of these things where they're like, yo, he wanted me to call him Pop Pop because that's my grandfather, and I call my grandfather Pop Pop. The AUSA says, what did you write? I really need to fuck. So it looked like she wrote an email to Diddy. I don't know why they were emailing. AUSA says, why did you write that? Ventura says, I wrote that because I wanted to be with him. AUSA says, I'll read your message. I'll read your message. You read yours. What? So I'll read Sean's message. So Sean says, so this is Diddy. You don't want to do anymore? I guess they might be talking about Freakouts. Ventura then reads her own email messages or correspondence to Diddy at the time saying, I'm so predictable. So it looked like because they know Diddy, what the prosecutor's doing, chat, they know that Diddy's lawyers is going to eat Cassie alive. On that stand, when they get to, Shorty, stop the capping. You were loving this shit and you never wanted to stop. Be honest, right? So they're putting out something that we didn't even know was there. This is going to hurt them, but they have to address it now. So there was a message between Cassie and Diddy that clearly Diddy has, because everybody gets everything in Discovery, that Diddy is asking Cassie, you don't want to do the Freakouts no more? And Cassie seemingly, we didn't get to it yet, but she seemingly is not going to say a strong no. She already gave the pre-answer by saying, I don't want him to do it with another woman, so I never really said, let's stop it. But you know when Diddy's lawyers get up there, all 9 of them, they might stand all at once. Bitch, stop fucking playing. Didn't the nigga ask you if you want to stop sucking them escorts dicks and you said, nah, you like it? Stop playing. So they're going to be on her ass. So they're trying to do some counter shit. Okay. Ooh, this is getting juicy right here. Pause. And also, they're addressing this idea she introduced sometimes having sex. She would message him, I really need to fuck. Now, she's saying, and this is, again, we're not in court, so we got to parse how we kind of look at these things and kind of like we got to use some like common sense. When they say, why did you write that? It says, because I wanted to be with him. I'm wondering if she's taken the angle of, hey, at times I would just throw the idea of sex because he was a sex addict and he loved the free. I would throw it out because I just wanted to be around him. I've heard that sometimes. Like a girl would be like, yeah, no, you ignore me you ignore me until I ask you to fuck. You know what I mean? Like one of them ones, one of them ones like, yo, you ignore everything I say until I say, yo, I'm horny. Then you're like, what up? Where you at? So I think maybe that's what they're trying to get to, right? To say, even though you're offering sex, the real reason you were doing it is because you just wanted to be with him. It's not that you wanted the freak off, but it was the way for you to be with him. Okay? So now, again, hopefully it's an update. Chat, am I lying? Yo, Creeper Gaming, I'm lying? Come on, you don't know one of them ones? You know one of them ones. You know you got that super eater in your phone. The super eater that want to be more than an eater. And you ignore every message she sends you until she says, yo, I'm horny. And she sends you a naked picture. And you respond mad quick. WYA. It's time for the eater to clock in. She tell you all type of shit. She be texting you left on red, left on red, left on red. That one message, I'm horny. TDE pictures. WIA. I'm telling you, man, one of them ones still. Everybody knows it. Stop playing. Come on. We gonna have to add, you gotta add some brain power to this shit to understand what's going on. And I'm telling you, chill. All right. Okay, cool. Let's get to it. She says, so now the AUSA, I think they're back in their voice. They said, what do you think this meant? That he knew I didn't want to do the freak offs anymore, but then I backpedaled. So you catch it, right? You catch it. So essentially, and this is what I'm saying, the defense is going to have a field day, chat. They asked Cassie, you don't want to do this no more. And she doesn't say no. She actually backpedals. Diddy's defense team is going to use that to say, if he forced you, how the hell he give you mad different times to say no or leave? How? By the way, everything is going to be seen differently. When he would kick her out or when he would take stuff back from her, that's going to be seen as, did Sean not try to break it off with you? And your ass love the lifestyle, love this, and you keep coming back. If you say this is against your will, why you ain't leave? If you claim you ain't want to do A, B, and C, why you ain't stop? Why you ain't tell him when he's asking you, do you want to stop? So you could tell they know the defense is about to drop 60 points on Cassie. So they're trying to they're at least trying to add some astroglide to the floor, at least a little bit of baby oil, you know what I mean? Okay, so cool. So she's admitting she feels like the sentiment, and by the way, I'm surprised they didn't object to this, but they did ask her what she thought it meant, right? She said, I thought by Diddy asking that, he knew I ain't want to do the freak offs no more. But I backpedaled. And then AUSA says, why? Well, I backpedaled to not make him angry. He could be violent. AUSA says, where'd you get your outfit? She says, pleasure chest. Pleasure chest. I feel like I've heard this before. Pleasure chest. Cassie, pleasure chest. I think maybe Roger Bonner, Gene Deal was always talking about like some of the places where Diddy would go go shopping. Gene Deal sex shop Diddy. He said he caught Diddy buying a butt plug. Who y'all think the butt plug was for? Cassie or him?
Story before about how y'all was in Atlanta and he was buying some toys. Can you elaborate on that, my man?
Oh my God, brother. Come on, man. Listen here, man. I know the fans want to hear some of his intimate secrets because he is a celebrity. He is a public figure and everything like that. And maybe I shouldn't be telling the business like that. But you know my motto, fuck them and feed them beans. You understand? We was in one of those X-rated stores where they buy toys, movies, and everything at. And this shit was just funny, man. So he's going around, they give him a bag. They give him a big bag when he come in that joint. They don't even want to know what he putting in the bag. I swear for a living God, I've never seen this before in my life. So he's going down the aisle and just getting stuff. I'm about 3-4 steps behind him. He going down the aisle getting stuff like that. So it was this rack that's set up by itself. You know what I'm saying? And he's at this rack and he was getting like 4, 5, he was just getting them like that. So I wasn't paying no attention to them at first and stuff like that. But then when I went in the rack said butt plugs. I said, hey, yo.
Oh, man.
I said, hey, yo. Fuck is you getting these for, man? And he said, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, I'll be at the door. You're right. So he came with this big ass bag, and he didn't even let the dude know what he had in there. He just gave the nigga a wad of money like this, and dude said, all right, cool, and walked out the store.
Damn. All right. Okay. AUSA says, did you get piercings? Ventura says, yes. Sean came with me. AUSA says, which of his homes did you have freakouts in? She says, Miami and New York. AUSA says, what about his other homes? Well, I did it in my homes, all but Studio City. It looked like Studio City was her safe place. Remember, that was the one that she was paying for? And she said that she had that home because Diddy paid for the rest of her homes, and that was her safe place because she didn't want him to fully control everything about her, right? AUSA says, what about in other cities? She said Atlanta and Ibiza. Ain't there a song about Ibiza? I had a freak off in Ibiza. What song is that? I had a freak off in Ibiza. No, I took a pill in Ibiza, some shit like that, right? There's a song that, right? Took a pill in Ibiza. Damn, this shit might have been about Diddy. Yo, Mike Posner got to get called up to the stand next, nigga. What happened in Ibiza, nigga? What are you talking about? Holy shit, okay. All right. AUSA says, in what hotels in New York did you have freak-offs in? The Trump Hotel, Gramercy. AUSA says, Intercontinental? She says, yeah, 44th Street, yes. AUSA says, elsewhere? The Mondrian, Oriental, Fountain Blue. She says, what names were used? Jackie Starr. I used Frank Black. Oh, she used Jackie Starr, and Diddy was called Frank Black. Interesting. Frank White. Didn't they call Biggie that? Frank White. Why does Biggie call himself Frank White? Frequently referred to himself as the Black Frank White. His name was taken from a drug lord character played by Christopher Walken in the film King of New York. So the star of this film, King of New York, which by the way all plays into itself because Diddy considers himself King of New York, right? Frank White is the star and the infamous drug lord. Diddy's fake name to check in these hotels was Frank Black. Okay. And Jackie Starr, where can we see Jackie Starr? Jackie Starr. There was a porn star named Leela Starr, right? Leela Starr. I think. Yeah, there's a bitch named Leela Starr. Where did he make up that from? Jackie Starr. So we're either keeping the Jackie or the Star, and it probably some other famous person's name or fictional character. Somebody say he the freaky Frank White. Y'all know about Leela Starr? Biggie Smalls came from an old 70s movie? Oh, shit. Somebody says who? Kelly Starr? Somebody says Jackie Legs? What? Somebody said this is the freaky endgame. Somebody said the plug was Ja Rule. The plug was for Ja Rule. Y'all stop playing. Y'all think the plugs was Ja Rule, bro? Yo, Ja! Somebody call Ja!
Say, I know a lot of people want to hear these stories and everything. Just to clear the facts up what's going on. But it all started, we was in Atlanta. And this story starts when I'm with Puff and he's in the exotic bookstores and he's doing shopping, right? He's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, he got to go put it on the counter and, show everybody what he's getting. So as he's going, I'm just looking at the places where he's picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I was like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo. I was messing with him. Because people don't understand, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang. So I'm still going to tease him. I'm still going to mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs. And he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. So when he got I just waited at the counter. So when he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like, he gave
Yo, one thing I say about this nigga Gene Deal, he's the master of telling the same story 4,000 times and never changing one detail. Like, he seems really believable. This nigga tells the same story 4,000 times, not one detail is ever changed in the story.
The guy stacked something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like, he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina. So later on that, I think that afternoon, same day, this rapper and him, they all in the room together.
Oh, nah.
It's Sarah, the girl, Puff, and this dude, this rapper. So I'm here at the door and stuff like that, like, yeah. So then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff, they're in the room, they busy, they don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bruh, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. And he was like, yo, I don't care, man, I'm going in there. That bull like that. I said, yo, bruh.
If Diddy traded out Ja Rule for a nice young tenderoni like Meek, Diddy might be the GOAT. Just like how you traded out Cassie for motherfucking Young Miami, Diddy might be the GOAT. He just keep trading them out. Hey, yo.
They're like, yeah, so then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff, they're in the room, they busy, they don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bruh, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. And he was like, yo, I don't care, man, I'm going in there. That bull like that. I said, yo, bruh, Jesus Christ had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed him and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room.
Bro, why somebody gonna say, you gargling the liquor, you just trying to show us how Cassie was gargling the piss. Yo, stop playing with me, man.
Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? yo, Gene, that's my cousin. He know me well, and Puff was like, yo, Gene, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaky going on.
Wait, what?
Oh, yo, Gene, that's my cousin. He know me well, and Puff was like, yo, Gene, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaky going on.
What would I do without my baby? Like, yo, imagine you at the door. All of a sudden, what would I do without my baby? Like, this shit was going crazy up in that room, right? I'm real. The way you walk, the way you talk. I'm real. Yo, Diddy, we gonna clap that. We gonna clap that. We gonna clap that. Yo, this shit was going crazy up in that room, chat. Holy. Yo, Diddy, we gonna clap that. Like, this shit was probably going crazy in there, huh? Yo, Diddy bringing out the butt plugs. Yo, Ja, guess what I got? Bro, wow. Yo. Oh, shit. Oh, no. I'm from New York. I got 100 butt plugs and clips. This ain't what you want, and I know. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm sorry.
So I was like, oh, you said it was a lot of freaky going on. So that was basically that story, man. You know what I'm saying? They went back in the room. Dude felt a certain kind of way, and he left out. So I seen them at the concert the next day, and they tried to, form up against me. But my man Frank was like, I told my man Frank, I was like, yo, Frank, put yourself in that position. Somebody trying to get in the room, and Ja told you don't let nobody get in the room. What would you do? Now, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man, but I ain't taking no losses.
Yo, Ja, what happened up in there? It's murder. Like, what's going on, bro? It's murder.
He said, yo, you good, and that was it.
We gonna clap back.
When Ja said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind. What they was doing with those butt plugs.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Oh, nah.
Yeah, that was real wild.
Nah, man. Nah, this is getting out of hand, chat. This is getting out of hand, bro. This is getting out of hand, chat. Okay, so she was going by the name Jackie Star. We back in court. The joke time is done. We're back to serious business, okay? We're the #1 news channel in the world, okay? Fuck CNN and ABC and shit like that. All right. What were the supplies for the Freakouts? Astroglide, baby oil, condoms. He said, who brought the supplies? Security, Sean's assistants. What brand of baby oil? Johnson's & Johnson's. How was it used? Sean said, you need to be glistening. Were there freak-offs where you ran out of baby oil? The defense says, what the fuck? Objection. How is this relevant? AUSA says, and by the way, Your Honor says this is irrelevant. Okay. Looks like they move on. So you mentioned Astroglide. Defense says, same, objection, irrelevant. They're having a sidebar because, again, I think the AUSA is trying to hammer home these points of the details of the freak-off. And Diddy's team is like, whoa, why y'all got to get all into that? So the judge is, rather than have this guy do constant objections, they said, let's do a sidebar. Let's figure this out, and we're going to see. Now they're back. It says, we were talking about Astroglide. How was it used? Ventura says Astroglide was used as lubricant. If you ran out, what would happen? Ventura said, we'll call either the staff or the bell desk and give them a tip. AUSA says, were the freak-offs lit? What? Oh, my stupid ass. I'm thinking about like colloquial word like lit. Like, was it popping? No. Was there lights, right? Ventura says, initially it was a candle, a strong smelling candle, Glade. Okay. The Glade candle. Let me see. Glade candle. Okay. Astroglide, baby oil, condoms, butt plugs, candles. Okay. All right. We're getting to them. We're getting to it, chat. We are getting to it. Nah, these details is crazy, chat. These details are crazy. Where is Ja? Somebody call Ja. Yo, the idea of Ja Rule getting doused with baby oil and having to Harlem shake that shit off his body is crazy. I don't know. All right, done with that bottle. Okay. So we're at the point. By the way, it's just a time check. We're 2:30. We probably got 2 more hours of her being on the stand. You can see they're going through this really. They want fine-tuned details. Remember, we haven't gotten to. Well, we're not going to see videos, but they're not playing videos yet. They're just having her describe every single thing. Now, I wanted to hear what she was going to say if they ran out of baby oil. Looked like Diddy was very upset. If yo, y'all ran out of baby oil at the freak off? Nigga, it's like running out of food at the cookout. Like, no more baby oil at the freak off? What the fuck? So, we're going to see. Someone said, call 50. Has 50 commented? Yo, I know 50's watching this somewhere. Like, yo, ain't no fucking way, bro. Ain't no way. Somebody get Ja Rule on the lines. Look, it said, these is crazy. They said this was R. Kelly's first world tour. Nah, dog. Holy shit. 50 going on another tour? This is crazy, huh, chat? All right, people, we waiting on the new tweets. If you guys do have questions, make sure you submit them via the platform you're watching on. Shout out to Rumble. Shout out to Kick. By the way, you guys hang around. I think I'm going to do an extra hour on Kick later on, so just keep it cool, keep it calm. Y'all know every time I talk about R. Kelly.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your
This is the craziest recruitment sex trafficking video ever.
girl? Would you like to come back with Rob to America? America. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots?
This nigga was talking to these bitches like it was like a new puppy from you're adopting a new puppy. Do they have their shots?
Who wants to come back with us to America?
You know you a freaky ass boy where when you start going to other country to bag bitches and you gotta ask them, you got your shots? I'm coming back, Sean. I'm coming back. Pause. Nigga was winking at chicks in the crowd like every wink.
Frosty!
Fucking Friday edition. But this is the way we drink our Deli on tequila. Frosty, we get it ice cold. We go and put it in, stack that in there. Ice cold. This is a Frosty right here. This thing ice
This was when life was so good, huh?
cold right there. The orange slices, that's how we do our shots. Yeah.
Damn. He giving this nigga the manual. Give my boy Justin the manual.
Woo! And we not telling y'all to drink. We just celebrating life. You know what I'm saying?
And it's fucking Friday.
And it's fucking Friday.
Grab
you know what I'm
your
saying?
orange.
Drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.
With an orange though. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, by the way, you know, I've been kind of like, worried about the kids, right? Like his daughters, and I guess even sons, hearing about some of the explicit things that their father is being accused of. But you know what I started realizing? Wasn't Diddy also fucking the same girls as his kids? Like, Diddy really a wild boy. Didn't all of them supposedly hit, what's that chick name? Let me not even call her name before she, try to sue me. But, yeah, supposedly Diddy was smashing some of his kids' girlfriends anyway. So they probably knew that this nigga was a freaky frog. Right? Like, do you think they're in court like, oh my God, my dad was doing that? Like, or they were like, man, we know daddy used to get down. Daddy was a nasty nigga. Do you think Diddy's kids looked at Diddy? I'm going to use a movie reference. I'm going to lose some of y'all. How old are y'all, some of y'all in here? I be forgetting how old my audience is now. I think I think my audience is early 20s. Like on average. Do I still got teenagers who watch me? I don't know. I think all y'all grew up. Most of y'all grew up watching me. I got some 30-year-olds. I got some 40-year-olds. But I think like 20s, right? No, Friday after next. Y'all gonna know the freaky scene I'm talking about. This scene right here.
Shut up! I'm coming. Ooh, you got a fan.
This Diddy right here. This Diddy right here. This Diddy right here.
Yes. All right. That's enough. That's enough.
This Cassie.
Go on back upstairs and put on some damn clothes. Go on now. Help me out. Ooh.
That's Diddy. That's Diddy right there.
Boy, that woman gonna be the death of me one day.
That's Diddy right there. Auntie Sugar. Friday after the next. There was a whole lot of freak shit going on.
All right.
Right here.
It's the Bombay.
Low key, this nigga was on some Diddy shit. He wanted Craig to fuck Auntie Sugar, you know, right?
Said ain't no gravity up there.
What numbers did you pick?
What's the other scene? There's another scene, the freaky joint. Yeah, she was freaky as a. Oh, right here. She fell asleep in Craig's lap. Y'all remember this movie? Some of y'all too young for this. That's Diddy right there. That's Diddy right there.
Negro, what the hell are you doing to my woman?
I don't know.
Sugar? What the hell are you doing to my nephew?
Oh, main eater.
I thought that was you, baby. Come on, baby. I'm fed, feeling X-rated. It's Mr. Nasty kind.
That's Diddy right there. That's Diddy. Freaky ass nigga.
Oh, Mr. Nasty time.
Wild King Night. Freak off time.
Nasty time.
Who remember this movie? Y'all remember this movie? If y'all remember this movie, name your favorite or most memorable one-liner from this movie. I know mine already. Actually, I'll use one. You can't use that. From this movie, the most notable line, no more locked doors. Okay, y'all got to pick another one. Pick another fucking like line from this movie that's like epic. No more locked doors. See? Oh, man. Okay, y'all know my baby Joker. All right, chat. All right. Oh, yeah, baby D did fuck the car. All right, cool. Let's get back to it, chat. Chat, once again, for people who are new to tuning in, I want you guys to all sub up, please. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following or subscribing or whatever. And also thank you to my chat niggas for keeping this show on the road. We're giving you a little bit of laughter, a little bit of comedy. We're not taking this case or this Cassandra Ventura's plight as a joke, but we're waiting for tweets. We're not in court. We're waiting for tweets. We're trying to give some context to some of these tweets. We're trying to also, this is what I can't do if I'm at the courthouse. I can't get to pull up a video that mentions something about what's mentioned in court. And we could just kind of have a 360 view. So just please understand that we're covering the case, but, from here to there, we might do a little 1-2, okay? All right. There should be some new tweets now. Let's get to it. All right. Okay, here we go. Now, it says, where the Freakouts, it said, initially it was candles, strong-smelling Glade. The AUSA says, any other use of candle wax? Ventura then says, a few times they poured it on my body. So it looked like they were into some freaky shit. You pour the hot candle wax on her body. AUSA says, who set the temperature of the room? She says, Sean. I was expected to do freak-offs on my period. Oh, my God. Yo, get me that one. I got to post this. This is like Rage Bait posting right here. Yo, I need, what do you call it again? I need memes. Send me this shit right here. My dog's upstairs crying like hoes. I'm gonna give it some attention a little bit. Okay. Sean says, no. Ventura says, Sean set the temperature of the room. I was expected to do freak-offs on my period. Holy shit. That's kind of crazy. You know what kind of puzzles me about all this? Like, if Diddy, I don't think Diddy ever, do we think that Kim Porter did freak-offs? I don't think so. I'm wondering if Diddy maybe has this, way of, and this is where, again, I need y'all to think out of the box. I need some real nigga, put your real nigga hat on. Put your real nigga hat on for a second and understand the point I'm trying to say or ask. Hearing some of the things that he subjected Cassie to, or he allowed Cassie to do, or Cassie wanted to do. Who knows at this point? We're going to figure it out. I'm wondering if Diddy, and I know we're like this because he's a freaky ass nigga, but I wonder if he had a way to separate. Because, and this is why I said put your real nigga hats on, because men, we do separate, not to this extent, but we do separate. We do separate. I'll give you a little story. Like, a chick I was with caught me cheating. I wasn't shit. Went through my phone, found the videos. I'm piping some bitch out, right? Some hoe. After she done getting mad, you know what she says to me? She says, why don't you fuck me like them bitches in the videos in your phone? And I had to explain to her, I said, I don't give 2 fucks about them bitches. I actually like you. And that's like a different type of way as a man of how I fuck. I'm sorry. I know this is TMI, but I'm just trying to get you to, I'm getting to a point. Men, we could separate. Like, the way you deal with a hoe is not how you deal with wifey. I know publicly Cassie was wifey, but the shit that, like, some of this stuff is just flat out nasty. Why would you want her to have unprotected sex during her period with a sex worker? Like, that's even nasty for you. Like, that's some nasty shit. I'm making an assumption here, but I don't think the mothers of his children he ever had do that. So maybe he was on some shit like, yo, I don't ever plan to have kids with this woman. I just want to smut her out. I'm Diddy. She's a bad bitch, but shit, I'm Diddy. So I'm going to just smut her out. Yeah, like, she's linked to me publicly, but I'm just going to smut her out, but I'm never going to have a kid with her. Because even the Gina girl, he seems like, I know he has a bunch of kids, but I don't think he was looking at these women as we're going to build families together. These women were just sex objects for him. Do you get what I'm saying, Chad? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think that he would have Cassie do all this if he wanted to have children with her. I think he looked at her as a sex object because some of this shit is now flat out disgusting. Like, to me, that's disgusting. It's one thing you fucking your girl and she on her period. It's another thing you let a sex worker or multiple sex workers fuck her while she's on her period. That's nasty. Okay, some of y'all got it, some of y'all didn't. But so I'm wondering, I really think that he was looking at Cassie because, again, I do think he was abusive to all women, right? Kim Porter reportedly he was abusive to her, but I don't think he had Kim Porter that freaked out, like on some yo fuck all my friends shit, or just do all type of like some of these things is like once you get to that stage, you don't want to have kids with that person no more. Like, yeah, you'll fuck on her, but you don't want to have kids with her no more. Like, you know, at some point, y'all going to stop fucking around with each other. You're going to have to replace her. It's no way he was doing this and thinking, all right, one day I'm going to give her kids. And sometimes, and maybe Cassie or whoever, Gina was definitely saying that, Gina Hill. She was saying, I was getting down with whatever he wanted to do, hoping at a certain point, I even had 2 abortions for him, hoping that eventually he would make me his and eventually he would want to have a child with me. I don't think Diddy really wanted to. Now, granted, I'm trying to read into his psyche. Maybe this guy is just a degenerate that wants to have kids with women that he is smutted out to the max. I don't know. And not to throw my man Adam 22 under the bus, but, you know, obviously people like that do exist. Where, you know, in chat, all my men in here, y'all know what I'm talking about. You get to a certain point with a chick, even if you fuck with her, once it start getting to that, you're like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna still fuck you, but we ain't doing a motherfucking thing but this. I'm wondering if Diddy really ever wanted, and I never hear Cassie talk about, and they were together for 10 years, like Diddy was trying to plan a family with her. It felt like he was looking at it like, you're young. And by the way, this is also a thing too. Shorty's young. She's probably not thinking about a child. She thinks that eventually you're going to give her a child or have a family with her. So she's just going through the moments. But really, you didn't plan. You're not trying to put a baby in her after you have 4,000 sex workers fuck her. Do y'all get what I'm saying? So I'm really trying to like look at, like, to me, and you know, I'm trying to just cover the case, but obviously we're giving some color commentary as well. To me, this is nasty. Like, first of all, his whole kink is a little bit odd. But how you have your girl do a freak off on her period, how you let another nigga fuck your girl on her period? I understand you fuck your girl on her period, if that's what you into. But you're going to let random sex workers just fuck her on her period? Okay, we didn't end there. She says, Sean set the temperature of the room. I was expected to do freak offs on my period. AUSA says, well, did you want to do that? She says, no. AUSA then says, did you want to be urinated on? Defense says, objection. The judge says, what grounds? It says, asked and answered. It said, overruled. Cassie then says, I did not want to get urinated on. Now, that would be directly contrary to what the sex worker said. The sex worker, Philip, said, Cassie asked me if I've ever peed on someone and then instructed me to pee on her. So that's, again, these are things that I know the defense is going to go crazy and be like, hey, did you ever ask, they're going to ask her, like, did you ever ask someone to pee on you? Now, she might, in a slick way, say, yeah, I asked somebody to pee on me, but I didn't want to get peed on. I asked because Sean told me to ask, right? So, okay. Asked and answered, overruled, no, I did not want to. AUSA says, how did it feel? Ew, what the fuck? How did the pee feel? What type of questions are these? How did the piss feel? It was disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted it. So basically, she's saying the dude starts peeing on her, and he starts peeing in her mouth, and she starts choking. It's like some Guantanamo Bay waterboarding shit. They were waterboarding her ass with pee. Nah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy, child.
Seen it. Like, let's do that.
It's crazy. Man.
No, it's not. Said they had rap out of order. Everybody.
Hold on.
Fooling in my
Escalade. Man, I'm paid, I got it made. Take me to your special place. Close your eyes, show me your face. I'm gonna piss on it. Others wanna love, I don't even want none of the above. I want to piss on you. Yes, I do. I'll piss on you. I'll pee on you.
Trip. Anyway, okay. So she didn't want to get peed on, according to her. She said it felt disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted that. I said, why were you choking? Yo, they're getting in the details of this shit. Why were you choking, though? Why were you choking on the pee, the urine? It was too much urine. It was too much piss. Who else urinated on you? Sean. They were using her like a urinal, like a fucking porta potty. All right, everybody need to clear their bladder. All right, come on, Cassie, open up. Come on, line up. They were treating Cassie like the bathroom, the nearest bathroom to your terminal when anybody ever get on a long plane ride? When everybody get off that plane, that first bathroom, niggas is lined up ready to go take a piss. Yep, that was Cassie. All right, everybody line up. Cassie's getting pissed on today. Who else urinated on you? Sean. Did you want Sean to urinate on you? I didn't want nobody to urinate on me. AUSA says, how often did it happen? Often enough. Damn. So which hotel charged the most for the damage to the room? The Intercontinental in New York. They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Back to the urine, man. Fuck all that. Back to the urine. Oh, shit. The AUSA is on it. Let's get back to the urine, man. Let's get back to the piss. Man. The judge says, hey, Ms. Johnson, only a few more questions. Chill out now. Why did you say no to the piss? God damn. It was obvious I didn't want to be on the ground. Oh, she was on the ground, being urinated on by two men. Where'd you find escorts? Initially, Craigslist. Now, I'm going to be honest here with you, chat, and I know some of y'all have seen, we're keeping it a little bit light here. Again, I don't want to make fun of this woman or her plight, and I do sympathize with her. As I'm reading this, and it feels sad. It feels sad, and I'm going to be honest with you, just me reading it, I know, there's a part of me that think Cassie was freaked out and she was into this shit. But maybe it's just the details, and I think that's why the AUSA is getting into the details. Bro, it feels sad. This woman is so desperate for acceptance by Diddy, she's so desperate to try to get a career in music. She's desperate to keep living this lifestyle. She's just sprawled out on the ground with her mouth open while two men just pee on her. That seems kind of sad, bro. The judge says we'll break here. I don't think that's for the rest of the day. I would imagine it might be a bathroom break or something like that. It feels sad, Chad. I ain't gonna lie. It feels sad. It do feel sad. Now, I'm not saying she's 100% right. I'm not saying she's definitely the victim. But just imagining that lifestyle where it's your whole life revolves around pleasing this man sexually. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to look at or to hope for. And I could imagine she was battling with those emotions over the years because she probably in 2006 when she got signed and then 2008 she starts fucking with him. She's having high hopes oh, nah, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be up there. I'm going to be like J-Lo. I'm going to be like this. And quickly she realizes that's done. You're never really going to pop off. You're going to be the glorified trophy wife or trophy girlfriend, because you're not a wife, of Sean Combs. And maybe she enjoys the red carpets. She wasn't a movie or a show or something like that. But primarily what she had to look forward to each week was these freaked out sex escapades with random dudes. She's getting peed on, nutted on. She's getting slapped up. She's, again, I know there is a side and an argument to say she was with it, though. But it feels like a sad existence. That's what I would say. It feels like a sad existence. Just, I see Young Charles in the chat. He said, actually, wanted that fame and the money. Nah, no, that's a part of it too. That's a part of it too. Somebody said 10 years. Don't let that cloud your judgment. She was with the shits. That's going to be the interesting part about it, right? You know when Diddy's lawyers take, or is their time to either cross, well, definitely on cross. When they cross-examine her, they're going to make that point so crystal clear. You were with Diddy for 10 years. Did he not at multiple times offer that y'all could stop doing freak-offs? Did he not at multiple times saying y'all could be over? And this is going to be very often. I'm telling you what's going to happen. Because remember, Diddy's fucking with other women too. She was catching him too. He was catching her too. I'm pretty sure at times when she was wilding out on him, I'm pretty sure he told her, yo, if you want to leave, leave. We can be done. Now, obviously that's in a toxic relationship type of whatever. But they're probably going to bring up how many times Diddy allowed her to leave. Because a part of this is them trying to say Cassie had no choice. She couldn't leave. She was financially controlled. She was physically threatened. And these are the things that coerced her to keep doing weekly freak-offs for a decade. Very, very crazy, man.
Goes, and I think
This is crazy. Hold on. I'm getting some more videos and shit for y'all.
However long I was being punished for. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, that's that.
King Buck, thank you for the 5 memberships to the Academy. Appreciate you, my boy.
Gets at it when she's being punished, right? She's in a relationship with Sean Combs. So you don't think even when there's a person who has a lot of staff because he's rich and famous, you don't think of them getting the staff involved in the domestic part. So the staff shouldn't be involved in punishing your girlfriend. And that gets you into sort of predicate act territory.
If you were the prosecution, should you dedicate just a full day to everybody who worked for Combs and helped him facilitate this alleged illegal activity? Do you just dedicate 1 or 2 days, just staff member, staff member, staff member, staff member?
So I don't know how I would do it exactly, but if I was prosecuting the case, I would try to build an org chart. I would try to build a demonstrative I could show the jury that would have Sean Combs on the top and lines that flow down to his various staff members. And then I would add to that demonstrative the specific things those various staff members did to Cassie or otherwise relevant in the case, and try to show that it all flowed down through this enterprise, through this organization.
We have a super chat question. Thank you so much from Get Lawyer, who everything was coerced and everything was against her will. Could 100% be true, but also may be difficult. I go back to what I said before. It's not a classic sex trafficking case where you have a shadowy organization who is kidnapping girls from another country, selling them off to somebody else. She testifies, explains what happens to her. She was trafficked. This is different. And I wonder if Get Right 904 Mike DeBeast's concerns are legitimate.
So
I think they are.
As I hear that question, they're asking, why should we care if the cross-examination goes hard? And if you have the views that question.
Now, chat, you know, if you're wondering where I'm falling on things currently, again, I'm not in court, so I'm not really, again, remember she's crying. They already told you she's sobbing. That has profound impact that we can't read through the context of a tweet, through anything like that. It's going to make you look at things differently. And I even told you, like, you know, I felt it was sad. And because it's sad, you want to almost agree with her, or you at least empathize with the pain that she's even feeling going through this again, or recounting it. I'm still leaning on the side that this is a consistent domestic abuser, that he put hands on her, whatever, but they were in a toxic relationship where she may have put hands on him. Now, what we haven't got to yet is, will the AUSA, again, remember, they're playing chess, so they know the move the defense is going to do when the defense gets Cassie. They said, Cassie, did you ever tell him no? And it's like, well, I wanted to tell him no, but I didn't tell him no. And they're addressing a text message or email where essentially she backpedals from saying she didn't want to do freak-offs anymore. What's probably also going to have to be addressed at some point is, did Cassandra Ventura also put her hands on Diddy? Now, granted, in how we talk about things in public opinion, for the most part, people don't care about women who hit men. Like, we don't care about, supposedly, the real true story with the Chris Brown and Rihanna thing is Rihanna went through his phone, seen some shit, started beating the shit out of him, and Chris Brown start hitting back. Obviously, a man is like usually 2 to 3 times stronger than a woman, so I completely get all that. But sometimes, again, Diddy is admitting that he beat her or he's put hands on her. It might help contextualize this and just kind of drive home the point for Diddy and his lawyers. Their whole thing is saying, and they said this, if we were on trial for domestic abuse or domestic violence, assault, we would not be in a trial. We'd have pled guilty. Yes, he did hit her from time to time. Sexual, sex trafficking and a RICO for sex trafficking and prostitution, no. That's fake. That's false. So here's the thing. I'm pretty sure they're going to drive home this point to say, yo, this was just a domestic violence, toxic relationship. They're going to point out and they're going to ask Cassie, did you ever hit Sean? Did you ever hit him first? Did you ever go through his phone, seeing that he was fucking with another girl? You seen him say XYZ and you put hands on him, right? Remember, she also said that when Diddy posted the thing online calling Kim Porter his soulmate, she was like livid. And also at that point, she was almost done. How did that shit go down? I expect the prosecutor to at some point that out and have her explain, because it's better if you do it in a softball way rather than her getting a 102 mile per hour fastball that she got to deal with from the defense. Hey, did you ever hit Sean? And maybe she's like, yeah, after I felt like he was forcing me to go suck 10 dicks in a day. Like, yeah, I hit him. Like, people could understand that. Like, of course, like, yeah, you got hit because you're trying to force a girl to suck a fucking dick. You know what I mean? Yo, he peed on me and I almost choked and I punched him saying, stop. Okay, that makes sense, right? Like, you know, people are not going to look at her putting her, not that, again, in public opinion, nobody really cares about a woman who put hands on a man. But it does matter for this because that is Diddy's point. Diddy's entire point is that we were toxic. We used to put our hands on each other. We were beefing. She hit me. I hit her. But they're not charging me with hitting her. They charging me with sex trafficking. So I think at some point they're going to try to tie the possibility of her putting her hands on him to this idea of her feeling controlled or sex trafficking. They have to tie it there because otherwise that just seems like a mutual domestically violent relationship. Okay, cool. By the way, I think Roger Bonds spoke about that. He also said Cassie would, he said, I saw Cassie hit Diddy.
Into a lawsuit, there was another incident that happened in New York after a party with Jay-Z. It was an Escalade. And she said that Diddy started to beat her, kick her, and so forth. He forced her out of the car on Fifth Avenue in New York. She eventually got a cab and got to her apartment in Manhattan, where she basically came home, cried in fear, and she spent 3 days in her apartment. Do you know about this incident?
I know about the incident, but I wasn't there for that night. Because when we went to New York, Paulie would take over.
Right. Paulie was the New York guy.
Right.
You were the out-of-town guy.
Yeah.
Got it. But you did see a fight when you guys were in a Cadillac at one point.
Yes.
And you guys were driving.
Yes.
Describe what happened.
Her and Puff was fighting, and I broke it up again. And I put Puff in the front seat, and I put Cassie in the back seat. And he was just sitting there, and I was like, yo, y'all can't be acting up like this, man. And then Cassie had punched him in the face, rightfully. She punched him in the face and they started fighting and I had the window open and people started pulling up. Oh shit, that's Diddy and Cassie in there fighting and I'm trying to roll the window up at the same time. So in my mind, I was happy because I actually seen her fight back. In my mind, I was happy. And then when we got to the house, I pulled both of them out. And at this time, I was able to grab Puff and I was able to start walking him up the hill. We lived in Beverly Hills. So I started walking him up the hill. And then Cassie ran behind me and she kicked him. You know what I'm saying? And when he went to chase her, I grabbed him again. And I was able to stop it. So these are the things that people don't talk about. So I was able to stop it at that time, and then later on they went in the house. It was almost like they would stay in the room for 2-3 days at a time, doing nothing but getting high. And then when they came out the room, it was like a different person. Cassie would be like a whole different type of person. She was very quiet. She started really not talking. And that's when I started realizing, like, she's at the point where she's just terrified.
Well, when she punched Diddy in the face in the car, I guess she had a ring on?
Yeah, she had a ring on. She had a monkey ring on. And the reason I remember this monkey ring on is because Uncle Paulie had left this same ring in L.A. one time. And
Hold on 1 second, Tam. I'm just grabbing some liquor.
Your Bonds, when you get to the house in L.A., yo, I left Cassie ring. So I said, okay, I'll get it. So I got the ring and I put it in a tissue. And you know how you just empty your pockets out one day? I emptied my pockets out and I threw the ring away. And this ring was a $10,000 ring. So I just threw it away. So when I went back to Ralph's to look in the parking lot, it wasn't there. So I went to, well, I forgot the jeweler name, famous jeweler on Fifth Avenue. It's Loren, something Loren. And I went to her. She knew who I was. And she gave me the same ring again on a payment plan. And I said, yo, I can't go back and tell them I lost this ring. And she said, okay, I'm going to give you the ring, Bonds, but you got to pay me $1,000 every month. And I said, okay. And lo and behold, it was a see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil ring.
The Three Monkeys.
The Three Monkeys.
Yeah.
But this was a see no evil. So the ring that she gave me was a hear no evil. Everything else was the same. And once again, when Cassie got in the room alone with Puff, for some reason she was afraid, and the next thing I heard was, Bonds, pick up the phone, pick up the phone. And I picked up the phone, and he said, yo, what happened? You lost the ring? You lost Cassie's ring? And I said, yeah, I lost the ring. He said, why you ain't tell me? I said, why should I tell you? I said, you always arguing with people about not handling things themselves. So I went down to the jeweler, I took responsibility, and I got another ring. He said, yeah, but that's not exactly the ring. You had to really look at it and see that it was different.
Now, some of y'all are going to say, what happened to Diddy's, Cassie's father or parents? Listen to this.
They had an abusive relationship that went both ways. Like you said, in the car, she punched him in the face with a ring on that, I guess, cut him.
No, I didn't cut him.
I didn't cut him, but it left an impression,
right?
On his face. And both of them were hit each other, but him more than her.
No, I'm not. I'm going to say, when I say hit each other, I'm going to say, yeah, it's 1 or 2 incidents she hit back. But let's be real, Vlad. I've had fights with my wife, you know what I'm saying? And she can hit me. It's nothing compared to if I was to hit her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I say that they have an abusive relationship, I say sometimes she did fight back. But when I say fight back, this is after years.
Yeah.
This wasn't like the beginning, because at the beginning she would just ball up and crawl up. And to see him hit her would be like, you mad about something else. Like what are you really mad about? You know what I'm saying? And it became a point where, like, even everything that they talk about, like, you wouldn't know that all of this was going on because the immediate crew thought that was wifey. Like, she was off, nobody could say nothing to Cassie. So it was like, I love her. And it was times that me and him talk. And he would say, "Yo, Barnes, I don't know what to do." I said, "What you mean you don't know what to do? It's coming a time where I'm gonna have to make a decision between Kim and Cassie. You know what I'm saying? You know, Shorty want to get married. You know what I'm saying?" And I remember one specific time he asked me that. We was in the Hamptons, and I gave him an answer. And I said, "Even though you love Cassie," I said, "you know, Kim is your ride or die. She got the kids." And what I didn't know was, and he didn't know, is that he butt dialed Cassie. And the next week, Cassie came and told me, she said, "Barnes, I heard you." I said, "You heard what?" She said, "I heard you tell Puff to take Kim over me." And I was like, she said, "Nah, don't worry about it, don't worry about it." And we never spoke about it again, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, from people I talked to that were close to Puff, they all told me that Puff refused to get married because he loved his money too much. And he couldn't comprehend potentially getting a divorce and splitting some of his money.
He told me that out of his own mouth. He said, "I'm not giving nobody 50% of what I got."
Yeah. From people I've talked to that were around Cassie during this time, Cassie really wanted to marry Puffy. And I remember a private conversation I had with someone, you know, an executive that everybody knows. They were, you know, basically hanging out one day, and he said the whole time, the whole ride back was, "Hey, can you convince your friend Puffy to marry me?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get married. I'm tired of just being his
I'm looking for this father part. Did I miss it?
girlfriend. You know, can you talk to him, convince him to get married? She wanted to marry him.
Okay. So remember I was talking about earlier? Looked like Cassie, you know, and I think this is kind of normal too. You're with this guy who could get any woman he wants. He already has a family. He already got everything he wants. He's in the era of, I just want to fuck a young bitch. He don't want to wife up one young girl, but he's probably stringing her along. He's probably telling her like, "Yo, if you act right, you do everything I tell you to do, you don't be a headache, you going to be the one. I'm going to marry you." And she's probably going on that thought for a long time. But let's be honest, based on what Diddy was having her do, I don't think he was trying to marry her. I don't think he was trying to have kids and no family with her. He was just getting his rocks off. She was just like a joint he could freak out. And it was clear to me, I'm going to be honest with you, I think Diddy was more obsessed with power than he was obsessed with her. He was obsessed that this woman would do anything for him. And it's one of those things that he might have loved that idea than he loved her. You get what I'm saying? He might have loved the idea that she would do anything for him more than he loved her, if that makes any sense to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But he never wanted to marry her.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, and, you know, during these abusive situations, you would sometimes take Cassie to the hospital?
Yes.
To the Beverly Hills Hospital, and you would go the
through
back door.
the back entrance, yes.
Okay. And
it's been times that I took her there, and it's been times I took Diddy there. Where I don't know if it's called the overdose. I don't know whatever you call it underneath them circumstances. But it was times that I had to take him through the back door for there also.
Okay. And the hospital basically just asked no questions?
No questions. It was like it was already taken care of through his staff.
Wow. Okay. And during this time, and you had kind of hinted at this before, Puffy asked what Cassie called her father and her grandfather, and that was Pop Pop?
Pop Pop.
Oh, shit, this did come up. We just heard Cassie say it.
Okay, and during this time, and you had kind of hinted at this before, Puffy asked what Cassie called her father and her grandfather, and that was Pop Pop?
Pop Pop, yes.
And he had her call him that.
Right. She would say it over the PA system and everything else, Pop Pop. And he got off on that. And I believe one time he was on the phone with the father and said, this is my daughter now. She called me Pop Pop. She called me Dad.
Oh, shit.
That's always been weird to me, man. You know, when girls call me daddy in bed, I've always would stop them. I'm like, nah, I don't like.
Yeah, but Pop Pop was the name for the grandfather. Like, I think just freaky sex shit, a chick might say daddy or poppy. And I hope they're not thinking you're their actual dad, right? But a chick calling you her grandfather's name. What?
That sounds almost like incest. Like I just don't like it. But
Right.
I guess he got off on that.
I guess so.
I guess so. And he would send Cassie's parents on vacations and give them money and everything else like that to try to placate the situation.
Yes.
And they would take it.
Yeah, they would take it. They would take it, and her brother came and I think he gave her brother a job working with her. You know what I'm saying? He would do all the things to calm it down, to satisfy, especially after they had a big blow up or a big fight. And he felt like the mother and father knew about it.
Wow. Okay, we should be back, chat. We should be back. By the way, let me just see any updates on TMZ. Any updates on TMZ? A crypto CEO got attacked. All right, whatever. By the way, we'll give an update on Tory afterwards. Just chill with me, chat. Chill with me. We are vibing today. Y'all all good? Where y'all at, by the way? Y'all at work? On the way back from work? Y'all cooling? What y'all eat for lunch? Got to do an update check on y'all every now and then, right? All right, so let me just do a refresh here. Let me see what's going on over Kick. This is check-in time, people. This is check-in time. Yo, one hitter 7110. I see you over there, my boy. Butterfingers. Shit, look like Diddy might have had them butterfingers, except it was baby oil fingers. This man Will, I see you over there. TLG Tristan, I see you. Shout out to everybody over at Kick, man. I encourage everybody to make an account over at Kick. We're doing an extra hour after this. We're going to be on Kick, people. We're going to be having a good old time. So please, rock out with me on Kick today. All right? Shout out to my Rumble squad real quick. By the way, Kick, I'm going to get y'all niggas on the screen. I also just updated my PFP on there. We got about, 2,700 people on Rumble. Shout out to y'all. Let me see what's good with y'all. It's an act. We in the gym right now. Exclusive beats. You in the gym listening to Diddy About to Get Life? Shit. Tyree 504, I see you, my boy. He said, yo, yeah, Diddy need to get locked the fuck up. Streety 301 says, man, I'm at work trying to avoid my clients. Where you work at? Jewel Lavella. She says, I'm at work. I'm vibing and listening. The job just treated us to pizza. Oh, y'all got treated to pizza on a Tuesday? So I'm talking about. Born Hustler says, yo, Rumble is actually the biggest. Never Worried 24. I see you over there, my nigga. Scooter 2650. He says, what's up, what up, what up? DDV says, fuck Kick. He beefing with Kick. www Zio. He says, W stream. And Iceman Sosa 99 says, gang shit. And why you say fuck R Block? I thought R Block was Rumble Block. He said, we at the crib, man. We just cool. And I, Prince Cali, what up with you? And Lewis Rich, you're my guy. I always see you over there. By the way, Slim Gem Podcast Network, salute to you. Let me get over to the Academy, or actually King Akademiks. No, let's do King Akademiks first. Shout out to everybody over the King Akademiks channel who is watching. Let me see. Oh, shit. My man Wavy Stacks says, yo, I'm truck driving right now. You know, I'm running it up, man. Yo, listen, shout out to all my truck drivers. Let me tell you this. You know, I have a few friends that do truck driving, delivery. I understand how, number one, you guys are really important, but I also understand how tedious that job could be. And sometimes even like, you know, it's hard to keep concentration. I'm one of the people, I can't drive for too long. So if you listening to me helps you on your job, trust me. You help me, I help you, I love you, and I hope you love me. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Justin Carper. He says he's an Amazon delivery driver. Okay? Well, my only thing, Amazon been good. Not FedEx. UPS been getting a little sloppy with me, Chad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think because I got so many signs at my gate. Yo, I got a sign on my gate that says, fuck the dog. Worry about the owner with the gun. I got all type of signs on my fence. I think sometimes they're like, yeah, we're not even going to walk up that shit to go to the door. Fuck that. You know what I mean? We're just going to leave it here. And I have the thing that allows delivery people to come up. They don't even fuck with my shit no more. It's all good. Oh, love from India. Who's from India? Oh, yeah, I read your shit before. Kushagra Bard. Oh, see, I'm going to fuck up your name. Bardwash. Okay. My man Dwayne is smoking hookah. Didn't somebody come out and say smoking hookah? If a guy smokes hookah, that's gay? Who said that? Who said that? Travis Paul, you watching me from London, man. I miss London. Hopefully next time I come to London, I'm gonna be doing an event. Hopefully I see you. Somebody says, Blasian China Fashion says, was that the hospital Bank went to? What are you talking about? What hospital? Are we talking about the hospital that Diddy went to? Great question. I'll rewind on that topic. Let me just rewind on it for a second. Where is it at? Oh my God, where is it at? Roger Bonds. Yeah, we're gonna figure this out.
No questions. It was it was already taken care of through his staff.
Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna figure out what hospital. Yeah, so if it's in LA, there's like this big hospital that they do most of the stuff. London, UK, I see you out here. Manny 17. I'm telling you, my truck drivers. Yo, chat. Hey, yo, Verselli, I know you're probably watching, or if you're not, Claudia or somebody who works with me, whatever. Yo, we gotta, and I don't know if y'all could do this. I want to get, do you know how people who drive, they'll have like a sticker? They'll be like, oh, so-and-so for Trump or so-and-so for Obama. We're going to get a sticker you could put on your truck. I don't know if y'all could do that though, because maybe I work for a company. But a chat nigga thing, especially if you be watching us, you could put on like a little sticker you could put on your truck, especially if you be watching. I'm telling you, there's mad truck drivers who watch me. I guarantee you. I know. Shout out to my boy Keon Gray. He says he's on the road too. Who else in the building? My man YYY says Freed Amanda. Oh, by the way, thank you guys for the donation. Kay, our beautiful chat queen from London, she says, yo, could we get a stream for the B-Day event? I love you, Ak. I love you too.
So the Diddy and Cassie situation has been getting freakier and freakier by the day. The more and more I hear about these allegations, Diddy is a freaky man, the king of the freak-offs. And Cassie, you feel me? She was young, vulnerable. But like what Ak said, she could have left. Like, Diddy was not holding her. Well, this is what's hard for me. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't holding her hostage, but she said on the video that came out in the hotel where he hit her over and drug her back, she was trying to leave one of the freak-offs. And Diddy said, oh no, you're not going to leave the freak-offs. You got it. Yeah. Wait till the dude bust a nut, allegedly, then all over you, then scrape it off, go in the other room and rub it on my nipples. That's what he wanted. It sounds so crazy to say, but that's what Diddy wanted. Like, we seen him in the robe. I thought he was just fresh out the shower, but allegedly he was probably butt naked. I'm surprised there was no baby oil on her or him, or she wiped it off. That's why he was so mad. It was no baby oil on. Hey, man. I genuinely feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for her husband, too, because he has to be in court and he's listening to all these things. And I don't really think Cassie's lying about anything. Like, Cassie just seems like a nice girl, probably, like, gentle, innocent, like, and she just wanted a career. Like, man, I'm struggling here because I want to be very, very honest about everything, like, my point of view. I don't think Diddy was the best of best people, and I think everything he did to Cassie was wrong, and it was definitely manipulative and all that stuff. But, like, is it sex trafficking, though? Like, this is what he's charged for. Like, domestic violence, yes. Assault, yes. Like, probably a bunch of other crazy stuff, yes. But sex trafficking, bro, I don't know if you could say he was sex trafficking. But it's only day 2 of the trial. And I'm going to be very, very unbiased about every single thing I say. It's day 2 of the trial. Diddy is, he's there every day. They say that he's looking white as hell, he's gray as hell. He's, you feel me? They said he was looking at Cassie the whole time. But day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 2 weeks later, there might be someone else taking the stand, and we don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe like 3 days later, there's gonna be a new person taking the stand, and they just expose everything about Diddy. Like, we don't know fully everything Diddy's done yet. Like, there might have been men that he was having freak-offs with. Like, Ain't gonna lie, bro. Like Act was the line about what he said. Diddy should just came out and said that he was a flexible, bro. He should just said he was bisexual, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie. And what Act said, bro, all these rappers gotta come out who was around Diddy, like really, really hung around Diddy and was like really cool with him. They need to come out and like, yeah, bro. You gotta defend yourself, your integrity. You feel me? But your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And do you feel like Diddy's innocent or do you feel like he's guilty? And we're talking about sex trafficking. Like, we're not talking about is he a good person or not. Do you think he's guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie? It's your boy Big Act News, and I'm out.